Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my monthly review for this month's issue of the Walking Dead comic book series. This month we got to see the release of issue 130, which was called There Were Whispers, and I Was Afraid. Alright, so yeah, I haven't gotten videos out for a couple days, or at least I missed yesterday, because I haven't been able to make them. I've been sick, basically. I'm still sick, so, getting better. We had crazy storm come through and drop like 3 to 4 inches of water within like a day, and it was just bad, and I woke up, was sick, and also had some water, some seepage in the basement again, so brutal. So nothing worse than, trying to soak up, water, using a water vacuum and all that crap while you're sick at the same time. So, gonna get back to it. I have a couple set for the next couple of days that I filmed just before that, but didn't render and everything. So those are ready now. There's another TMNT video coming, and another one I got for the next couple of days. I missed my reviews for this week. I missed The Strain. I missed Under the Dome. And, again, just because, not feeling strong enough to really, create what I normally do. So I'll try to get back at it. I've heard Under the Dome episode was great, which I haven't seen yet. So once I get a chance to check it out, I'll definitely post a review for you guys. I know I've missed a couple weeks of that. And same with The Strain, if I get around to it, although I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to keep reviewing that show or not. So yeah, my schedule is pretty ridiculous, and when I get sick, it's really hard for me to keep up with everything I have to do, especially when I have water in the basement, flood, and that kind of stuff. It wasn't too bad, but when you're ill, it's hard to do anything. But anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about the issue that hit today. So yeah, even though not feeling well, still don't want to miss reading the Walking Dead comic book series. Still look forward to it every month. I really liked when they were doing the bi-weekly releases of it. I wish they would go back to doing that format all the time. Maybe that's too much to ask for the artist, Charlie Adlard. We know Kirkman can write fast enough for us to have 2 issues a month. That's not a problem because he's writing so many different things. He's working on the TV series and all that. But I think it's really hard for Charlie Adlard to keep up his art, because I think normal artists do about 1 page a day in terms of art. Because when you look at modern comic books and how dense they are, like especially with The Walking Dead, all the zombies, all the environments in that, I think it'd be difficult for Charlie Adlard to do 2 issues a month. So, that's probably why they haven't. But I did like in All Out War how they were doing that. Now, this issue right here, I really love this issue. There Were Whispers and I Was Afraid. This was like kind of like a mixture between a straight, living in a zombie apocalypse now that they're relatively safe, and kind of finding out that they're never really totally safe, and also adding in the horror aspect to it. You've got this guy named, is it Marco or Ken? Well, there's Ken and Marco. So then, you have, I think, Ken with the broken leg, and Marco is the one who's gotten back. Let me just verify that's correct, because I'm off my game. I don't really know what's going on right now. Let's see here. Yeah, it's Marco. So Marco's the one who got back, and where the title of the issue comes from, and he's a really interesting character now, I think. At first, I didn't really care. I'm like, who's this guy? Whatever. We have so many characters in The Walking Dead, but now we've got something interesting from him. He had to leave Ken there, pretty far out at a building there, a house there, that type of thing. And he claims that he heard whispers and that the dead were talking, or the dead were speaking to each other. So it sounds like to me, I don't think they actually are. I think he's just crazy. The Walking Dead world, we don't really get any kind of zombie evolution or zombie intelligence. At least we haven't so far. But we do know that they do make, raw and different, moaning type sounds, and that they do kind of follow each other in packs after a certain amount of time, like a herd of them. So, to some degree, they must kind of follow each other and sort of not really communicate, but through language kind of communicate like a predator. Like you see one predator going one way and the others will follow. Some kind of animalistic type communication, what we would see from like wolves, maybe not as advanced as wolves, but because they're very smart. If you guys have ever watched videos of wolves and what they'll do, like for example, versus a bear, if you have a pack of wolves and you have a bear and they're going after a carcass for food, wolves are really smart. They'll taunt the bear, get the bear to chase them, another wolf will run in, grab the carcass, run out, the bear will turn around, the carcass will be gone, and then all the wolves will split. They use some pretty advanced strategies and things like that in terms of animal communication. So, and there's other animals too that do that as well. There's all kinds of different, the animal kingdom is very diverse. But with zombies, I don't really look at it as they're communicating to that degree, like a wolf, that type of thing. But maybe more along the lines of like a herd pack type mentality, that you'll have a leader will start going in one way, the others will follow, and then they'll kind of, not intelligently tell each other where to go, but kind of, make moaning noises and things like that to kind of steer, steer each other in some kind of direction or follow and go with that, right? Type of signaling, going, kind of like a dog with barking, that kind of thing, where another one will make some noise, the others will go there, or because they're attacking type predators, they're not defensive. Like, for example, some monkeys and things like that will make noises if a snake is near, and then the others will run off. They'll kind of signal each other in terms of communication that way. With zombies, I kind of look at it as the opposite, where they signal each other, but always on the attack, like looking for prey, right? That type of thing, with reckless abandon for survival for themselves. So that's kind of an interesting part of this issue, and I really like every time you bring in some kind of advanced, kind of thinking into it, into the story, in addition to all the other great stuff that was happening. So in addition to that, because I don't want to spend too much time on the zombie thinking thing, I don't think they were actually speaking. I think it was more like him, maybe he's crazy at this point. Maybe he hasn't slept and he's hallucinating. Who knows, that type of thing. Magna did not free Negan. So, again, we talked a little bit about how predictable The Walking Dead is, both the TV series and the comic book series. This is a good example. It's not. Even though all signs pointed to possibly Magna freeing Negan at this time, he went the other way. So Kirkman is really smart about that he really treats us, the reader, with a lot of respect, where he doesn't just go the route that it makes, like, always the route that we can kind of predict that he will go, even though it looks like it's going that way. Then he puts it back the other way, which is really cool. So now I don't really know what they're going to do with him. If anything, maybe he'll just kind of be there for a while. So then we got to see Ken and Marco. They were hiding. They were in the little trench and that. And then, of course, we see them later, like I mentioned, or we see Marco later. Then we have Karl and Rick. The trench scene was cool, though, by the way. It was kind of scary. Karl and Rick, we had some great art to see the different, environments and stuff like that. And the hilltop for the first time in a long time. Rick meets Maggie, and I like how Adlard has drawn Maggie to look like she's physically older, which I thought was really cool because, before she did have a younger look. Now she looks more kind of, longer nose, kind of more adult-like, that type of thing. So he's awesome, man, to be able to show that, because a lot of comic book artists, they have trouble even drawing different characters. Sometimes a lot of their characters look the same from their art, like Batman and Superman will look very similar, this type of thing, right? But he does a really great job of being able to show and illustrate every character uniquely, so they don't look the same, and also even to show aging, which is really cool. Karl, another one like that. Then we had baby Glenn, who's actually named Herschel, or Maggie and Glenn's baby, which was really cool. I thought that was awesome, and really nice tie back into our emotional attachment to the characters in the story. And I felt like this was a great one, and to see him as well too, because he looks just like Glenn, which is cool. So I did really like that a lot, and I felt that, you know what I mean? If you can feel that emotion from reading a comic book, that's amazing, because most comic books are like, you read them, it's just like, like a popcorn movie or something, but you don't feel any kind of emotional tie or investment into the characters. The Walking Dead does a great job of making us feel for them, which is really cool. So I loved it. Then we have the Roland as the blacksmith's apprentice, so it looks like Karl either can't do that, or he'll be kind of sharing, doing it both with him, so he wants to talk to Rick, and I guess we'll see what they decide. I almost think like a blacksmith apprenticeship is kind of beneath Karl, because he's Rick's son. I would think that Karl would be more fit to either, learn under Rick as an apprentice to be a leader, that I think would be more useful, or maybe under a doctor or something, another apprenticeship that would allow Karl to take over the reins from Rick later on. And a doctor is a very useful role and very useful skills to have regardless, because you always need them, especially in a zombie apocalypse. Or just basically a leader from Maggie and Rick kind of learning. I think that would be a more applicable apprenticeship for him than a blacksmith or something like that. But maybe they're planning to do that later, and they're kind of getting him a trade right now, and then later on they'll do that when he gets a little bit older. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Although I personally think that that's kind of beneath him because he's Rick's son, right? That's just my opinion. And then we had the ending scene. So, takeaways from the issue. Incredible issue, makes us care about the characters, makes us feel for them. The Baby Herschel thing, emotional tie to that, which was great. We also got a little bit of the horror aspect that I really liked a lot. And, just always strong. Always strong, The Walking Dead. I'm going to give this issue a 9.5 out of 10. It's worth reading, even if you're sick. It's worth reading. So definitely check it out. If you guys haven't yet, I highly recommend it. And I love it. Always strong. So wish we could get double as much. Wish we could get 2 a month instead of just 1. But what are you going to do? Anyway, let me know what you guys thought about the issue, and like I said, I'll try to keep some videos coming, but I'm going to get behind a bit. It's pretty tough when you're not feeling well, and I have other stuff to do. So anyway, if you guys like the review, if you like the video, please thumb it up below. Do me a favor, thumb it up. If you want to help support the channel, please share it, please favorite it, and I'll call it here. For this video, guys, I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev, as always, saying peace.